There we go. Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day out there. Bitcoin, of course, is not having that type of good day. Loki is having a great day because he's been playing outside, as you guys can kind of see. Yeah, he's super excited right now. He's been playing a lot, mostly because I've been kind of bored today. Now, today we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. I know a lot of you guys are going to have questions about the bull market versus the bear market. Am I selling some stuff? Am I buying stuff? What am I kind of doing for money right now? That type of things. And we'll get through all that, sure. We're going to be talking about the stock market, the cryptocurrency market, of course, because I think that's where the news is. And then just kind of talking and chatting and having a good time here. I just finished making myself some tea here. I think today I went with African chai because I just know this is going to be a longer stream because we have to really dive in deep. And I think what I'm going to do today as well is, let's say we're going to spend a good chunk of it going through X and finding out what all of the top influencers are thinking about. So the Benjamin Cohens of the world, maybe Tom Crown if he has a post, maybe the crypto guru people, whatever. The big influence of the space, I guess Benjamin's probably the big example right there. But we're going to see what they're thinking about, what I'm thinking about, what you guys are thinking about, and kind of put it into a big melting pot, all right? Now, before we get started, you guys can see Loki over here if he comes up. Loki, do you want a treat? Yeah, as he drops his toy energetically. Yeah. Yeah. All right, sit. 1, 2, 3. Hey, I said 3. Good boy. Yeah, huh? Mm-hmm. All right. So happy to see K Plugs. Happy to see Taliban Man. Hope you guys are both doing well. Let's just hop in here because it is going to be a longer stream, and let me know if the music's too loud for you guys and stuff like that. Now, as far as the stock market's concerned, you saw a lot of stuff come down today. Tech is all kind of just all over the place, basically. Google's up a little bit, but the rest of technology services is down. The only reason Google's doing well is because Warren Buffett and his company, they bought some. That's really just the news. People are like, oh, I got to copy what Warren Buffett is doing, therefore I have to buy some Google. That's that. Everything else, you see the majority of it is red. You have a little bit of green in health and technology, you know, utilities, transportation, a little bit over here. But as far as the big stuff holding up the entire market, it's not looking too great today. It's not looking too great today, right? Now, as far as Bitcoin and stuff like that, Bitcoin's down, Ethereum is down. I think this must have just reset because you guys already know if you guys go over to the charts, Bitcoin's been having a horrible last few hours, last day. We decided to come down even more since the last time we talked on Thursday. It's been down. And enough where I was talking about, hey, if we start breaking down below this, I got to start thinking about selling off some of my longer held assets, like the Bitcoin I bought in 2022, the Ethereum I bought in 2022 and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm going to start selling that stuff here because I am not liking what I'm seeing. What's right here? I sold off everything, put in Nvidia, Coca-Cola, UPS, XRPC, some healthcare, just waiting. Man, I know prices are going to go down more. 84K Bitcoin's coming. It might even go below that if we're hinting into a really big bear market type of scenario. So I put out a smaller video today. I don't know how many people actually watched it. Let me hop on over to my channel here very fast on this other monitor. Got like 100 likes, 100 views, something like that. But there's a lot of people right now talking about Bitcoin's bullish, Bitcoin's bearish, and there's a couple different reasons and a few different ways people are talking about it. Right now, the bulls are making the case that, let me go over here with all the extra stuff. Go to the daily chart. And let's even get a smart money concepts here. All right, they've been making this case that if Bitcoin has a death cross between the 50 and the 200 daily moving averages, what we've normally been seeing is a bottom around this, bottoming around here, you know, and then the price will come up and we have a big move later on in the next few months, right? Again, death cross right here, that was pretty close to the bottoms, had a nice little move. Death cross over here, it took maybe a couple more weeks, like what? The 22nd of August, all the way to the 7th. So that's like a couple weeks before we bottomed out. But again, you know, if you started to buy right here, you'd be happy with the results that came later on. That's really being the point. So whenever we have those death crosses, like way back over here, I know this is kind of blocking the way, but it's usually opportunities to buy. The bad thing, and this is where I'm becoming more concerned, is that, let's see if I can pull this back. There you go. When we start to break down below the 50-week moving average, like back over here, technically we did it over here, so not 100%, or over here was just COVID, or over here, right? You usually end up having a pretty nasty move down. This is the one I've seen a lot of the larger bearish, or the ones that give you the bearish point of view. This could be Benjamin Cohen, Invest Answers, those really large caliber ones. A lot of them have been talking about the 50-week moving average. And while I understand why they say it, because it's like a single line, you can really point to it. There's tons of times where we've like broken down right here and then we've managed to come back up, or like we broke down below it right here and we still managed to come up. I don't like to use it too much, you know, or even right there. Instead, you guys know my strategy. I will give it a little bit more leg and I will look for the death cross between the 20-week moving average and the 50. Death cross, bull market over. I'm not selling at the all-time highs, even though I might have scaled out at the all-time highs. I'm not like 100% out. Right there, death cross. Right here, death cross, just 1 week ahead. Again, COVID, it was kind of interesting. No death cross over here until there, and then you saw afterwards how bad everything really came, how bad everything really got, right? It was a terrible, terrible time. And since then, right, we had no death crosses. I would have to assume at this point we are going to be looking at a death cross coming up some type in December or maybe January, and that to me is a real terrifying thing. That is when I really start freaking out. But I guess for me, I've already told you this a few times though, because I've been happy enough to buy a lot of my assets when Bitcoin was back around 22,000, 25,000 below some of those key levels. Even if I were to like buy over here and sell right now, I've still made about 300% profit. Now, I started to sell right here, scaling out for 264, 300% profit, scale over here 374, up here around 400%, up here around 110,000, 120,000, 120,000 last time I sold. 451% profit. All right, so okay, you know, let me pour myself some tea very fast because I need this thing to start cooling down. I love African chai, but I just started another fast today, so I need something in my system to like hit my taste buds properly. Well, I ate breakfast, but that was my last meal of the day. All right, so nothing too bad, right? And this is why I think we're going to go over to Bitcoin and talk about everybody here. Benjamin Cohen's actually trending right now, and he says date with destiny. But you're seeing a lot of people panicking about that, and I understand. My concern at the end of the day really isn't just about Bitcoin here. It's more about what happens with Ethereum, Solana, and everything like that. Because right now, Solana is hitting a support level. Ethereum is getting close to hitting a support level here pretty soon, this old one right there. We're going to see if it manages to bounce off for a little bit. Dogecoin is breaking down. I need to sell off a lot of Dogecoin here. Trump is coming back down after an amazing last few weeks. Melania, the same type of thing is happening right now with, again, everything is coming down. So that, again, that almost makes me think that I need to sell off the last, like, you know, got 50% left of my high risk altcoins, like a baby Doge, something like that, Book of Meme. I probably need to sell off 90% of what I have left and leave the rest of it in there to kind of chill. And with that money, I'll probably end up dispersing it across a few different areas in the cryptocurrency market. But I think for the majority of my money, I'll end up holding it, like, let's say I end up buying some Bitcoin over the next 5-6 months. A lot of that will be specific Bitcoin, Ethereum buying, where I'm going to be having it on Coinbase so I can earn interest on it, or just hold it in an interest account for a minute while I wait for Bitcoin to hit those key buying zones. Let me put this back up. So let's hide all this stuff for now. There you go. So my little rule that I like to do is if Bitcoin is below this orange line here, or basically below the 150 weekly moving average, I'm going to be very happy to buy down below that level. And that's when I really start to dollar cost average, because you're usually going to have a few months, unless it's COVID, to really buy dollar cost average to get your money that you've saved up buy, and then eventually when the rally happens, you're very happy with the results. Sometimes we're down here just for a little bit, sometimes we're down here for months, but if you have the opportunity to buy down there, once you get back above that level, it's bull market, everybody's super excited, you're making money, and that money can make you more money, and so forth, right? What's really interesting about this though is unlike what we had over here in 2021 with a massive rally really quickly and then coming back down and crashing very quickly, what we're seeing right now is we're actually pretty darn close to the 150 weekly moving average. So you can imagine if we were to forecast this out a little bit and we have something, let's just say an area that maybe goes that way. That seems realistic, right? Especially if Bitcoin's falling. Well, we're already we're about 20% away from that. So this might not be a bear market of the past where we've crashed like 64% in like just a few months, where we had exchanges falling off and things like that. This may be something of a older style bearish momentum where you saw like back over here, we came down for a bit. I know there was COVID, but we came down for a little bit there. This one came down for a bit here. And even some of these smaller moves way back in the day, it wasn't nothing drastic. Percentage wise, it could be pretty bad, but again, it was more of a gradual decline. And maybe that's just because I think it really was 2022. There was just so many different things happening. We were spending so much money, high interest rates coming out of nowhere, exchanges falling like flies. Even the trust exchanges that had a bunch of money were falling like flies. Maybe we have something more of a controlled dive right now, but we really need to see if we can kind of survive this move. We've already had this point where we decided to break down a few weeks ago, and we've just still been coming down further and further and further. The next real strong support level here, remember, is going to be, oh, there you go. If we're trusting the Fibonacci levels, we had a bounce off of this to the daily, bounced off of it. The next support level is around 84,000, which Tyler was just talking about right there, right? Right. After seeing my comment, if you me, where would you watch for entry? At this point, because I already have assets, I'm not even thinking of buying much more Bitcoin throughout the rest of this cycle. I'm thinking of trading it. Now, if you're looking, you're talking about 88,000, 84. I'd probably buy around $85,000, $86,000, you know, and I'd be happy with that. But because I'm not trying to buy support right now, because I don't know if we're just gonna break down from it, right? Remember, we just had this this strategy that I was talking about that works really well in bull markets. We could be breaking up, messing that up. When we have the stochastic and the RSI having those bullish crossovers, you have a few good days of good movements. We just had one right here, ultimately disaster, didn't work out at all. The cross happened right there. Yep. And we had 1 day of profit, and that wasn't even a good day profit. Then we came tanking down. Before that, crossover, crossover, boom, crossover, crossover, boom, crossover, 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 boom. We're not having that anymore. So the only thing I can really easily fall back into is a few different trading techniques that I like. The first one that you guys know, I like to have a few different charts on there. It's smart money concepts. You have the weekly chart being bearish, you have the daily being bearish, you have the 4 hour being bearish, and the 15. So if all of these are bearish and we're not at a massive level of support, then when we start looking at change of character switchovers, short right here, this came out today, this morning at 4 o'clock. Look at that move down, look at that money. Look at this one over here, 3:15 a.m. Sunday. Why so early? I don't know. But again, boom, great opportunities there. Even back over here, great opportunity. This one right here, still made your profit. Not a lot because you do have a support level there, but still made you some money. And I don't know, when was this one at? This first one that didn't really work out too well. It went down, but not as much. That was Saturday, November 25th. It was all still bearish here. I guess we were just hitting a little bit of support when that happened. What time was this? 12:30 a.m.? Yeah, we were just hitting a little bit of support level. That's it. Yeah, by that point we had an order block. Yeah, but again, not that bad. You go back over here, Thursday, last time we were talking about this, I mean, look at that, great opportunity. So right now you're just kind of in this bearish zone where you're just like, okay, tells me it's bearish here. It's been bearish here for a while on the daily. As long as this one's bearish and this one's bearish, this is just kind of like an extra confirmation. Bearish, bearish. Every time I see a change of character on the bad side, unless we're at a very big level of support or something like that, I'm taking that. That's the first strategy I'm taking. And the other one is more of a waiting for an opportunity to see something bullish on the momentum indicators. So by that I mean I have to wait until I see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, MACD, stochastic, and RSI, excuse me, all being bullish again before I want to buy. That is one thing where even if you go back in time quite a bit here, right, even when we had nasty moves back over here, if you would have just waited for everything to turn back to being bullish here, 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 even though the stochastic RSI might have given you a little bit of entry, maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe I'll put in like a couple $1,000s right here with the leverage trade. When the breakout happens right there, see, you would wait for the resistance. I don't know. But you see crossover, maybe we buy right here. Maybe we'll have to see. And then you could see how you had multiple months of good moves. Even if you waited over here for the momentum to shift for the MACD, you saw multiple months of good news here, right? Yeah, maybe what we'll do this time is if we have the stochastic and the RSI, we'll do the first buy-in, and then we'll double down once the MACD gets in there, and then we'll hold for a few months and see how that performs. But point being, that's usually going to help us out. Interesting thing is right here, we also had that happening, right? So bullish right there. Still didn't do anything. I would have to say here, right? At that point though, according to, Luxago, we were still bullish at this point. And right now we're not bullish. Right now we're bearish. So maybe we just have to wait for a little bit more data, but that's not something I really am excited to see, right? That's not something I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it's a much more of a painful thing than that. But yeah, as far as when you might want to buy, yeah, 84,000, 80 to 87,000 would be fine. I'd probably just go for 85,000 because maybe we hit the ultimate support level, but sometimes we just dip back and we get just close, but we just don't snatch it, we don't just tip on it, so it reverses before you have that larger buy order. If there is panic like this spreading, and again, we will move over to X here in a minute, and I see people saying, just make sure that whatever exchanges you guys use, all the exchanges that I work with, if you guys have used my links in the past, they should be fine. They all have their Bitcoin reserves, kind of just a show, say, hey, it's one of the few things America really is requiring nowadays. You have to have some reserves, so if the Bitcoin market goes down, it's not going to be great. If it's not a US approved exchange, then it might be a little bit more of an issue as far as holding up during this type of market. So far from what I've seen, I haven't heard of anything breaking like a Coinbase servers or stuff like that. I haven't heard of that happening. Robinhood, I haven't heard of anything happening there. The last time they had issues wasn't because the market was crashing like this. It was more of a sudden crash based off of the tariff announcement by Trump a while ago, right? And from there, it's that was just craziness within itself. And hey, Tremaine, happy to see my man. And hey, Jeremiah, the 50 is the big issue right here, and the fact that you can almost forecast this right now. Excuse me. You can almost forecast that we're going to have a death cross here sometime in December or January, and to me, that's really the nasty signal that says, hey, I don't like what I'm seeing here. I need to get out of my positions. Now, if you guys watched my video earlier, I'm probably going to sell off about half of the Bitcoin that I bought in 2022. I'll probably sell off around 75% of the Ethereum I bought back then, and probably 90% of my Solana, because Solana is just more volatile. And the reason it's a little bit different between Solana and Ethereum, it made me some profit, awesome, and it's been volatile on the way down. Solana made me so much more profit than Ethereum, and you're seeing how much faster this stuff is coming down. I want to get rid of that just a little bit faster. But yeah, so before I move on here, let's get out of this. There's tons of day trading opportunities, I'll say that. The stock market today wasn't that good. the overall market was just okay as far as like news and stuff like that. This was something that I saw a while ago, and this was actually pretty interesting. Fed Governor Waller backs December rate cut as support for weakening labor market. The labor market is still very, very bad, and I don't think Jerome Powell is going to cut rates really that much before he is phased out. He retires, whatever you want to call it. His term is up. But I think that Trump will put in somebody that is very dovish as far as rates, and I'm okay seeing higher inflation if it means the market's going higher at this point, because I really want to see those lower rates. We'll have to see how bad everything gets. As far as overall news and stuff like that, nothing really crazy besides this one right here. White House moves closer to allowing IRS to surveil international crypto transactions. I don't do any international transactions, so I'm not really too concerned. But everything else, meh. They were talking a little bit about, strategy, MicroStrategy. Yeah, that's not something I'd be holding right now. If you want to buy it, you have to wait for this market to kind of fix itself up here. I'm not a fan of it at all right now. But you can see, and the way Bitcoin's been going over the past years, we're fine. But you see a drop like this and breaking down below the 50 here, that's not what I like, The funny thing was we actually broke down below the 50 over here, right? And over here, we managed to bounce right back up. Even if you were to zoom in here, wasn't that the scariest time in the world? Broke down below the 50. Oh, we're back above it. Oh, we're down below it. This time, we're not really doing that. We're just coming straight down right here, which isn't that great. But yeah, I'm doing a lot more selling than buying. If I'm buying, I think I'm doing buying off of momentum, so not trying to find the bottom. And I just want to see if I can try to ride those waves. If you're trying to find a potential bottom and you go with that Fibonacci level, that's basically around that $85,000, $86,000 mark that you're talking about. Well, it's at 84, but you want to buy a little bit above it, like 85,000. And hey, reminder, what do you call it? You're going to see a lot of people probably entering some shorts here over the next few months and next few weeks. We already have the bearish change of character and stuff like that. One of the interesting ones that I've actually been seeing here is, like, if you guys have been liking to trade and do stuff like that, I think I can go over here and find the super trend by Keyvon again. Here it is. We just hit the sell signal yesterday. And if you just go off of this, it's been pretty accurate over the years of saying, hey, this is a really nasty move. So nasty move right there. This one right here, it came kind of late, but we did have a nasty few months at least. This one was a nasty one. This one was a nasty one. Go over to the daily chart here. It's still on the nasty one right here. So that was a nasty move. This one wasn't terrible, but it did come down. This one right here wasn't bad. That one actually was the bottom, which was interesting. This one, bad. This one, yeah, that one came down for a few days. This one, not much happened. That one was good. This one, nothing happened. Again, why would you short at a big level of support like that? You don't do that in the first place. Right here, you're not at support level, so you can short right here. That came down really nicely. That one came down nicely. Doesn't look like it, but this one actually did have a nice little drop there. This one didn't do anything, right? So it's more accurate than not. So typically I want to follow it, and right now it's not giving me any good news. That's for sure. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute for us to get out of this gulch, whatever you want to call it. That's what has me so much concerned though about us having that nasty move back over here in early October with the announcement of tariffs again on China. That was it. I think it just broke a lot of the bulls. Because remember, if you want to see Bitcoin go up, you want to have people buy in and feel like, hey, me buying at all-time highs is going to be worth it. It's worth all of that risk. We're not really seeing that right now. And I would say part of that is because we have had a lot of nasty surprises whenever Trump has been talking about tariffs and trade. I mean, you can see this nasty move that we had back over here. Oh, just crazy. Again, a lot of people over levered in this market right now, which is always a concern. But when they sell, oh, it's a painful thing. Bitcoin dominance coming down just a tad. Nothing too crazy there. Dollar index coming up a tad. Gold is still going higher here, generally speaking. And then where is the oil prices? Oil prices are still going down bit by bit, but nothing too crazy there. Yeah, so definitely some pain being felt right now. And hey, GT, happy to see my man. Look up Title 19 customs and duties. Exporters have not been paying the tariff. It's been Walmart, Target, etc. being on the hook. Let's see. So you want me to look up Title 19 customs and duties. Oh, it's not so much a chart as just a code. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You're saying it's Walmart, Target, except for me on the hook. Oh, that's interesting at least. Well, that's even worse. That means if the tariffs get overturned, that means a lot of we're still kind of fucked right now. That's not good at all. I'm looking at all this stuff right now. Bitcoin's only down a couple percent today. Bitcoin's not really the problem. Dogecoin's down 4. Bonk is down. Floki's down. You're starting to see a lot of tokens not actually show up anymore on exchanges. That's not a good sign either. Turbo, my beloved Turbo's coming down. Yeah. So it's gonna be a minute. RNDR is coming down. Oh yeah, look at the volatility on that one. Yeah. It's not much. Even if you guys go over to my Robinhood account, which I got to put some more money in there the next couple weeks. I started losing some money here today as well. I think I'm down like 8%. Oh, 2% today. That's not terrible. But you look at my Big Bear AI, you know. Now I did buy this at a high, and I told you guys that when I did it, but I was like, hold it for a long time, whatever. I'm down 17% off of that one. I should stress that these are going to be held for years, but just in case you guys don't know that. This one's down 14% with Soundhound. I don't know if any of these things are bullish. 14% for Veritone. I know these are high risk, but still, you want to see some profit. 11% for Umbrella, can't pronounce it properly. Simo over here down 6%. Tim is down 7%. That one's not that bad. Data, that one's down 8%. This is Quantum, but this one's down 16%, down 5% today. Oh, I just talked about Quantum, yeah. KN, that's another one right there. That one's down 6%. I would say it's AI adjacent for that one. And OSS, that one's down 12% here. So a lot of volatility. Now, I've only put in $100 in here. There's a reason I'm dollar cost averaging, obviously. But oh, talk about some pain, right? Talk about some pain. And hey, the Vision, happy to see my man. Ooh, there we go. All right. Now, as far as what's happening on social media, I just want to go through and see what people are talking about. Benjamin Cohen put out a good video today, Bulls versus the Bears. I watched it. Benjamin is much more bearish right now. Yeah, he's pretty darn bearish about like, hey, we're pretty close to the top. He doesn't say it outright, but if you kind of read in between the lines, which is what I'm doing. I'm not speaking for him. What I'm saying is I think he is kind of thinking that the market is topped out. But there we go. All right. I think Bitcoin has a date with destiny, 200-week moving average in 2026, probably around the $60,000 to $70,000 mark. If you guys want to play it safe, I'm not even going to wait for us to hit that 200 moving average. Let's go back over here. That's the 150 weekly, and let me just add this for 200 for the white line. Okay. Which 200 is he using? Is he using maybe an EMA? No, 20 EMA doesn't do it too. What level is he doing? Does anybody know what? Because his bounced right there. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Oh, I don't like that at all. Date with death. I don't like using the 200 because it's not like it's a support level or anything. Yeah, I would say this. If the way I'm going to be playing this is if we are going into a bear market, this doesn't get better anytime soon, yada, 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 you know the drill. I'm not going to really focus on the 200, to be honest. I think if you want to buy in bulk one time, maybe you wait for us to hit that level and you're happy. For me, I am going to start heavily dollar cost averaging once we break down below the 150 weekly moving average. To me, that makes more sense for the how I like to trade, how I like to buy. You know, I don't like buying all at once. I just don't like doing it. And not always do I just have a bunch of money just lying around, stacks and stacks of cash, whatever, to go buy in. I had to put like $1,000 this week. So we have another crash, maybe another $4,000 this week. Oh, maybe $2,000 a couple weeks later, right? I don't want to buy all in bulk at one time. So I'm going to stay and I'm going to say this, as far as I'm concerned, whenever Bitcoin starts to break down below the 150 weekly moving average, I will start dollar cost averaging pretty aggressively, not knowing how long that bear market type of mentality will last, but know that whenever I buy below that level, whenever I buy below 150 weekly moving average, if I hold for a few years afterwards, I'll be very happy with the results. And while that's happening, I'll also be buying up different tokens that can have a history of surviving bear markets, like the Ethereums and the Solanas and stuff like that. I think that's fine by me. But as far as some of the other tokens, because Bitcoin may be entering a bear market right now, and a lot of tokens haven't been doing that good, I don't think I'm going to really own too many altcoins after the next couple weeks. I'll probably hold like 10% of my original Dogecoin holdings, and that's just kind of a nod to my channel being, you know, an older Dogecoin one. But everything else, I don't think I'm going to hold anything really besides Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and a teeny bit of Dogecoin. I don't think I need to hold really anything else. Like if I want to trade some of those other tokens down the road, I would just wait for Bitcoin to turn bullish on a weekly chart, you know, and that would make me feel a bit better, I would say. But even if Bitcoin is bullish on the weekly charts, because the monthly charts are now turning bearish as well, how much focus do you even put on those weekly charts? So right, so here's the weekly chart. All right, and we had talked about like how we had some bearish ones right there, whatever, some bullish ones right there, resistance levels, or all the way back over here, a little bit of a bullish one. Go back in time a little bit though. Right, when we had that last bullish trend that of the weekly chart right there, that was during a bearish MACD on the monthly charts. And now we haven't had the month close, obviously. We have another, what, 13 days? This is going to be the first month everything is bearish. Everything is bearish. Now, let's zoom in a little bit here. There hasn't been a divergence from this. We've seen this plateau a little bit, but not so much of divergence, really. We've had a little bit of bearish divergence as far as the RSI is concerned, but not any. Well, yeah, a little bit right there too, back since July. And this about a minute here, but a clear breakdown here this month. And if you wanted to go even back further here, you know, maybe that's when we're going to end up hitting somewhere way down here around the $60,000 range. This is more of a just kind of a interesting thing, not a big thing, I would say. But yeah, that does concern me a little bit. And hey, Fitz, happy to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm sipping on tea and just watching this burn and crash and stuff like that. Horrible. But at least there's opportunities to make money. I think that's the important thing, specifically when it comes to day trading. And the day trading is probably going to be holding for just a few days at the most. But anything longer than that may be a little bit more difficult. Oops, sorry, I just got a text. Let me make sure this isn't my grandma or something like that. Oh no, it was a call. Okay. I've been getting so many calls the last few days. So many calls. It's been very annoying. Just like scammers and whatnot. But because if you look at it from this point of view, here, let's go back over to This is your Fibonacci retracement. We should have some support around 84,000. After that, down here around 70,645. Back up a little bit to what we had a few years ago. If it wasn't for the FTX debacle, maybe we really would have found a bottom around here. Maybe that would have held up. I mean, we'll never know, but we were doing pretty well until the FTX scandal happened. Even if we were to push it back over here to 2018, still, it was working out in our favor. So I'm not trying to say, hey, we're going to go all the way back down to $40,000 or so. But put that back on here. You know, we did find some support right here. We found 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 some support right here. And each of those times, if you guys bought and held for just a few days, money, I guess money, but that wasn't the greatest of plays. So maybe it doesn't work every time, but it's maybe worth it. Money, you know what I mean? So like that could be an interesting way to play it, especially if you guys are doing altcoins and all that. And then of course, money right there. That might be the way to play this if you guys don't want to be looking at the charts every single day. I do think that's something just to kind of take in and be aware of. And again, so far here, money, 1 for 1. What happens when you hit 84,000, 80, you know, money, perhaps money. But again, this is gonna be some aggressive moves. I would also point out that when I have this Fibonacci level on here, I have the fib levels based on log scale turned off. If I were to turn them on here, right, then our support level is really at like $77,000. And this is why I'd point this back out. But going back over to weekly charts, turn this on here. Now it's turned on, a little bit different than before. Actually, let me just show you guys. There you go. Watch the line shift ever so slightly. Right, ever so slightly. Well, in this case, this one worked out. This one did not. This one did work out there, but we only had a few. We never really went down too deep, right? But I don't think this one was as reliable. Maybe if you go over here to post-COVID, maybe that changes up stuff a little bit. No, not really, not really. So I would probably use the checkbox off if you want better data, or at least data that has, at least from the last cycle, been a little bit more advantageous for you to buy and have some fun there. Specifically because, let me pull this up. So, what's the best way to articulate what I'm about to say to you guys? So that's November 26th. So you see those dates down there? And let me pull this back here and let's go to something like an Ethereum. We can do multiple tokens, I think, to kind of just explain the point here. So I got Yacht Rock playing in the background. I needed some chilling music after a fucking horrible whole day, right? All right, so this is gonna be May 12th, 2022. Down it there. Am I on a weekly? Why are the weekly charts different for this? Thursday, May 12th, 2022. Oh, let me see. Ethereum, well, that one didn't work out too well. Let's see. May. Okay, I'll just assume there's something a little bit off with these. Friday, January 22nd. Oh, this is Monday. It's not what do you call it? That's fine though. 17th, 24th. Yes, right there. A little bit better, a little bit more of a reversal. I'm just trying to see if altcoins have been having good moves during this, or if it's only really working for Bitcoin, because again, everything's bleeding back into Bitcoin, right? The 4th of December. Saturday the 4th of... That didn't work out too well at all. Never mind then. I thought we might have an opportunity to do some double trading, like how if we see what Bitcoin's doing well, you can see that Ethereum's doing well. That didn't happen at all for this one, so let me not even try to make that point here. I was assuming it would, but that's why I'm happy I went back and looked at it again. But at least every time we've seen this here, I guess I might as well just delete like that. We are seeing good opportunities for buying, but it looks like it only happens to Bitcoin here. Now, what is something interesting here, if you guys want to take advantage of a potential bear market from Bitcoin, and you're like, hey, Bitcoin's not going back up, but I want to put some really crazy bets on the market crashing or something like that. Well, you guys could always go like we did with what I got lucky when it came to Luna, but Luna was one of those things where it was divergent. It was a divergent altcoin compared to Bitcoin. So Luna was going higher and higher while Bitcoin was going lower and lower. And you always got to believe that the altcoins will pull back to Bitcoin here, right? So maybe we start looking at what's been going up the last 60, 70 days, 60, 90 days. Maybe I start looking at stuff like Zcash or Dash or Aster or Decred that have larger market caps here. Maybe more like a Zcash, a Dash, or an Aster. Decred only has a small amount, but I think they went. Are they the people that sold today or something? I don't know. Some company went out of business today in the X world, in the social media world, and in the crypto world. This is a hilarious quote though. Let's see. Something's living inside my garden pot. That's terrifying. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Let's see. Podcast, Kit Kat. Is that the thing from Interstellar? Shit. Let's see. Yeah, YouTube's getting attacked like crazy the last few days. I'll tell you about it. Where's it at? There's a company that yeah, there was a company that went out of business. I just forget what it was. The doom is the crypto gloom, and SoCal has Washington weather. Yeah, that's one way. I thought I'll figure it out. Okay, let me go back over here very fast. There you go. Maybe what I'll do is I will start opening up some random shorts on Zcash, because if you pull up Zcash, here's Bitcoin. You know, and then you see what it happens to every other token back in 2021 when Bitcoin crashes. I don't even think you need to have a high leverage. 5x leverage would be plenty. Maybe at the beginning of a double top forming right now. You know what I mean? You can see that overall trend like this. Might not break down for months, but if you wanted to open up a position that you can hold for months, knowing that a little bit of those fees will be grinding down, that might be the play to do. Let me see. Maybe I will do. How much do I have on this account right now? I might use my week's account. You guys know they're an affiliate of mine, or I'm an affiliate of them, I should say. I shouldn't say the other way around. And so I make money if you guys sign up, and I've never been, you know, I guess I don't really hide all that stuff. But I'm trying to see how much money I made off of that today. You ready for it? 15 bucks and 14 cents. Why don't I go in there and see how much money I have? I probably have a few hundred bucks because I haven't taken money out in a week or so. Why don't I open up a $100 5x leverage short position on Zcash that I will hold until Bitcoin hits the 200 weekly move average. This is a gamble because I'm willing for the account to blow up because I don't really have a lot of money in this particular week's account. Like I have two week's accounts. One is for paying me commissions, and then one is where I actually put money into trade. Because I'm an affiliate of theirs, and I get signups and stuff like that. They gave me a separate account where they give me the VIP fees, if that makes sense. I don't pay as many fees. So maybe that's what I'll do right here, and I'll take advantage of this because if Bitcoin does really go into a bear market, this would be a great little nugget of greatness right here. Last time it was Luna. Unfortunately for us, we don't really have the charts of that day, but I was extremely lucky, let's say that. Luna was going higher and higher while Bitcoin was going down. I decided to short Luna, and then there was the big scandal that happened that made everything just go down even faster, right? But this could be something where if you guys are thinking that the bull market is over and you guys do want to make some money, this could definitely be the opportunity for you. And maybe I'll do $100 on Zcash and $100 on Dash and $100 in Aster. And I think if I was to put the most money behind this stuff, it would most likely be Aster and Zcash, because over the last 90 days and year to date, they've had the largest growths here. AB is also a big one year to date. I don't really keep track of okay, let me get rid of that. I don't really track AB at all, so let me just see. That already looks like a strong candidate for a short without Bitcoin going down, so perhaps that maybe I'll do that one as well. Zcash is already there. Not really many on the top 200 from 101 to 200. Toshi hasn't been doing well over the last few months. Zebek Network hasn't. MapleStart Finance hasn't. Oxy. Yeah, I don't see much goodness coming from there at all. There's only a handful. Let's go to the top 3 here very fast just to see. This market cap, you wouldn't want to short it because by the time it starts to crash even harder, you're probably not going to see any real exchange hold it up, hold it. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll keep track of it, but right now, I'll tell you right now, I'm probably going to do some shorts on those later on this week. Maybe I'll do them live with you guys. I guess I could always use my main week's account too, but I don't want to have any stop losses or stuff. Well, I really want to let it just like ride. And if I only have a few $100 in the account, I'm willing to let that blow up versus like thousands upon thousands of dollars blow up. The doom is crypto for the gloom is SoCal. Oh yeah. What do you call it? It's been raining and gloomy over here in Washington State. I've had to start taking my D3 because I'm not getting enough sunshine on my skin. As you guys might know, my body is kind of built for the sunshine. But I've been going out a lot again to just gonna smoke and have a good time. I haven't been drinking as much. I had breakfast this morning, which was basically leftover Papa Murphy's because I was treating myself to a lot of good work I was doing over the weekend. But now I'm not gonna eat from the rest of today, which is Monday, and I'm going to eat again on Sunday. And because I'm going to the gym and because I move a lot around the house, I'm gonna have a 4,000 calorie deficit day every day until then. That'll be fun. Luckily, I've learned how to fast with the help of my doctor and my nutritionist and everything like that, so I don't go through all of the downsides of having a fast more, because I know exactly what my body needs and all that good stuff here. The only thing I will say is I have brain fog on day 2 or 3, but I've also been having brain fog just because I've been stressed about cryptocurrency. That's something. And I also just have ADHD, you know? Although my ADHD goes down or gets better when I'm fasting, which is like the funniest thing in the world. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. I just wish we had some good news. But you can see right now it's just not that great. Now, to go back over to X, just talked about this a few seconds ago. Benjamin Cohen says he thinks, I want to say stress he thinks, Benjamin is not the person that does absolutes. Let me shake the rest of this tea over here. There you go. Benjamin Cohen thinks we're going to be heading down towards $60,000 to $70,000. Not tired, we're dead. We're not tired, we're dead right now. Well, I think Bitcoin will go to the 200 weekly SMA in 2026. There is a high probability it will have a bounce back to the 200-day SMA before going that low. All right, it's a nice little bounce. And again, we talked about that. Maybe we have a reversal on some of the momentum. You can have some fun trading it, but I'm much more concerned because if we don't have anything great happening over the next few weeks, that monthly lockdown of the MACD being bearish, from a pattern perspective, that kind of seals the deal here. It is good that we didn't buy Bitcoin at all-time highs. I will say that. Gold, Bitcoin. Why do they always? X is a place that you go there for likes and stuff like that. I stopped paying for my profile thing because I got really pissed off that I wasn't seeing any results off of it. So my AI posts got more visibility than my personal thoughts. That's how bad I don't like Twitter right now, or X. Yeah, it's really that bad. It's, yeah. But you know what I mean? I don't know how to tweet. Like, I don't tweet like everybody else. There's Scott Jennings. TikTok can never. Oh, this is for me, not Bitcoin. Okay, I was like, what the heck? Oh yeah, Moana. Yeah, the Moana trailer looks horrible because it's the Moana movie. I like the movie, but I don't want to see live action. The story I don't care to see again. But I don't know if you guys, I can't show it to you guys because it's YouTube, whatever. But the quality of the water, the quality of the trees and the nature, oh my God, it looked amazing. It looked amazing. Let's see, did I? Bitcoin. There we go. Bitcoin just broke. There you go. Hey, I like the guys over at Altcoin Daily, but please be careful if you just think that because Altcoin Daily made a post about Bitcoin finding its big bottom this week. I mean, there's always a good chance we have a bounce, and Bitcoin doesn't just fall and fall and fall. The only last time that happened was purely because exchanges were falling like flies. But remember, these guys, they bought a bunch of Ethereum at pretty much all-time highs for their MicroStrategy competitor with Ethereum, they better hope they have a lot of capital to keep on buying Ethereum and make sure people know that they're not going to be forced to sell and take a massive hit or something like that, because MicroStrategy hasn't had to do that selling type of thing, right? Like, oh no, MicroStrategy got liquidated. These guys bought horrible times, horrible times, right? Let's see, a lot of the same stuff. Everybody's copying each other. Let's see. The best explanation of Bitcoin. I don't understand Bitcoin. Please explain it to me. Voldemort equals central banking. Harry equal Bitcoin. That's a good way to think about it. Hold on. I always block these people because I don't want you guys to ever fall into that habit of trusting those types of I'm giving away free Bitcoin, give me your wallet, right? Whales are buying this dip up. Let's see, days, months, years. Yeah, that's why I'm selling what we made in what we bought in 2022. I think we're about to see the biggest universe in crypto history. Hey, I hope so. I'm not selling all my crypto yet, but I've sold off a good chunk of it. But if we have a reversal, I'll trade it. I'm not going to buy and hold for months though. Let's see, CMA gap is partially filled. America Bitcoin. Yeah, a lot of the same stuff we were talking about before here. Oh no. Sorry, my gym texted me saying, hey, we have these massages for you now if you want to use them. I'm like, cool. I don't go to a fancy gym. It's like a hydro massage, just so you know. I've thought about going to fancy gyms, but I just can't justify spending that much money. Let's see. Copper gold ratio, don't care. Because the bomb is almost in. MicroStrategy accumulated the majority of their Bitcoin holdings above $100,000 for Bitcoin. I believe it. Let's see. This guy thinks we're going back down to see me gaps. He must be pointing to this one around 79,000. Yeah, interesting. Oh yeah, Benjamin calling to this. Just remember, no one actually has a crystal ball and knows what will happen. And you call. I said, I know that if I buy Bitcoin when it's crashed over 60% from highs and wait a few years, I'll have a profit that pays for my altcoin trading addiction. That is a fact. That is a fact. That is a certain truth. Let's see. See, all these X is just filled with so many scammers nowadays. It's absolutely insane. Man and Pokemon need to learn to keep their hands to themselves. The fuck? So many people I just don't know. Future of flying. That looks terrifying. Oh man, this is insane. Yeah, YouTube's catching a lot of flack right now. Oh my gosh. Remember, I lost my ability to earn money off of YouTube for like half the year for no reason. I don't throw a fit because I know YouTube will terminate my channel completely, so I don't want to deal with it. But they're having some issues right now because they've been relying too much on AI. Terrifying, right? Can you show sample liquidation prices leverage longs, like what would the liquidation be for 1K long at 30x for Bitcoin Ethereum? If you're talking about you're doing a trade of $1,000 at 30x leverage, that would just be how that really looks at how much money you have in your account in total. So like if I have $5 million in a futures account on, let's say, weeks, and I have a 1K long at 30x, my Bitcoin position can fall 20, 30, 40% and I will never be liquidated. But if I do a $1,000 long and my trading account only has like $2,000, well, I can't really go down below 200%, or in this case at 30x, you know, just a few percent, because then I'd be forced to be liquidated. Unless, yeah, so it doesn't really matter. It matters more about how much money you have in your individual account. And then if you're just talking about broadly across the market, it's mostly where are these people going to have their stop losses at, because once those stop losses hit, or liquidations, what you're going to see is a mass selling. That's going to be a market sell and not something of a limit order, where just dumps like that. And then if there's enough supply, enough buyers there to kind of eat it up, good. If not, it just keeps on going until it finds enough buyers. And that could be kind of scary. And hey, the vision, happy to see my man. The next Fibonacci level is right below that, kind of right around $84,000. We were actually just talking, maybe you want to buy 85,000 because it's slightly above that big support level too. So yeah, but we're definitely looking at something more of a bearish Bitcoin chart right now. It does not look pleasant at all. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna hop off right now. I have a feeling I just want to start doing more of these streams when I can. I've been saying this for a minute, but I think I just need to start doing it tomorrow. Basically, I've been going to the gym every day twice, and that's been like taking up a lot of my time. But tomorrow, if Bitcoin's moving, I'll go live for half an hour, and I think I'll do like maybe 2 to 3 half-an-hour streams a day, just because Bitcoin's pretty volatile right now. I don't know if I'll always do the 4 o'clock one on time, but if you guys don't see me at 4 o'clock, you see me at 8 o'clock or something like that. Because basically all I'm doing right now is working on my stuff. The website should be ready to be launched the next few days. It'll have a few glossary terms, but basically by the end of the month, end of the year, I should have about 100 glossary terms built onto it, which would be really cool. Right now it has the exterior of a 2005 Ford Fusion with the engine of a Ferrari. So it's, the inside is built really well, but we have to start adding portions and stuff to the website, which would be pretty good. So it'll be I can't wait for it to be done. Just let me know that. I cannot wait. Now, here's Loki to say goodbye to you guys as well. No, don't get your toy. Don't get your toy. See, he has to have a toy when he comes up here. Yeah, and at least you have a great weekend as well. Members, I'll be putting out some daily content for you guys as well. I think we're going to talk about... He's all over the place right now. Where's Loki at? Oh, got the toy. He's looking for this. Where's Loki at? What? Okay. But yeah, but you guys will see me a lot here over the next few days. I'm still working on some tutorials, but I will say that I am kind of doing more editing on them than normal, so I'm gonna see if that really does help out. It will. I suck at editing. I don't do it every day like I'm supposed to. My head hurts when I do it, basically, and I don't want my head to hurt. But like the video I did today where I was just kind of explaining my thought process of what I'm thinking about, you guys are going to see more of that. At this point, I will say, since my channel's kind of all whacked out and stuff because it's been demonetized so many times, blocked so many times, whatever, I think I'm not going to worry about what type of content I put on here. I think it's more going to be about stuff that I think you guys want to see. So I'll be having this video come out next few days, like top copy traders of November, right? I'll have one like every few weeks, every 2 weeks, something like that. Top copy traders to follow if you guys don't want to trade. Top exchanges, top this, top tokens to watch out for, whatever. Top tokens to short during bear market, right? I'll just be doing a bunch of other stuff. And hey, Flip Keys, it depends on what the cost is for produce one Bitcoin. It all depends on where it's being produced, where it's being mined. Different countries have different power, different states, different towns have different costs. But most of the time, you might ask ChatGPT with averages, but but it's not as much as you would think. It's more of a time thing than anything. So see you guys a little bit later, and thank you guys so much for watching. Members, get ready for another video hitting you guys tomorrow. Thanks.